Welcome, Rob Ainscoe here. I'm the owner of Sim Horizon LLC. I'd like to go over my new product called Seasons. I'm going to go over the installer, and I'm also going to go over several different multi-part tutorials covering the usage of Seasons and some of the cool features you can do with the Seasons generator, and also some of the advanced options in customizing very specific elements in terms of vegetation, colors, and sizes, and a lot of other nice features. So with that said, let's go ahead and I'll run you through the process of the Seasons installer. I do offer a trial, a 14-day trial of Seasons, which is not completely a full trial. I mean a full functional version. Some features are disabled, but it'll certainly give you access to all the 12 seasons or the 12 months of the year. And if you decide that you don't want the product after the 14 days has expired, I still permit you to use my product. It will only operate on 2 months, June and September, and the advanced options will be disabled, but you could still use the product. So at this point, you've either downloaded this link or you've got a link through your email, and you may have a key if you've purchased it. So let's go ahead and just double click. You're going to get to the welcome screen. Fairly straightforward. Just go ahead and click next, and this will take you through the process. If you're going to do it for only yourself, or if you plan to install it for everybody on your system, I recommend everybody, but entirely up to you. Go ahead, click next. Now you should be able to put in the location of where Seasons will install. Don't confuse this with the Microsoft Flight Simulator install location. It is not related to that at all. In fact, I'd recommend you do not install this into your Microsoft Flight Simulator folders. You can go through the terms and conditions here. This is my end user license agreement. Feel free to read that and accept it, and then go ahead and click the install button, and the installation process will start. Okay, now the install is successful. You can go ahead and click on the README if you'd like to read additional information, or you can go ahead and click the Run. In the README, I believe I have some outline of the limitations of what can and cannot be done in terms of vegetation in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I hope Microsoft will address those limitations at a future date. My understanding is Microsoft will have a Seasons update out in sometime 2022. It'll be interesting to see what they bring. I have made several suggestions to Microsoft on their developer forum on some of the missing items, and feel free, I'll provide a link to that discussion or to my post with Microsoft, and hopefully I can get some people to support my requests, and we can really bring Seasons to life. Okay, so we now have Seasons installed, so I'm going to go ahead and close this. Now you can either click on the program group here, and you should see over to the left, if you scroll down, you'll see Seasons. There's my Seasons folder. Click on that, and you'll see Seasons here. You'll also see on your desktop, it would have created a new Seasons item, a shortcut. You don't see that in my particular demonstration here because I've got the desktop icons turned off. But this is where Seasons will install. So go ahead and click on that. And now Seasons will load. Now it's going to prompt you to either go with a 14-day trial license, where you'll get a license key automatically assigned to you. It's called an evaluation license, and that'll last 14 days. After that license expires, you can still use the product, but you'll be very, very limited on months and features available. To activate the product, if you have a license key and you've purchased a product, go ahead and click on Activate. So here you're going to enter your license code. That will be emailed to you when you purchase a product. For your user password here, you can enter any password you like. This is your user password. It's not related to the license. Its primarily purpose of entering a user password here and an email is to allow you to deactivate on one machine and allow you to reactivate on another machine by providing your email and user ID in case, for example, your computer crashes or you need to replace a hard drive or a motherboard, or you just want to install Seasons on a different computer. You'll be able to use your user password and email that you enter here as a way to authenticate yourself and your license. These little green dots here actually do have something associated with. You click on those and you should see a little what I call a call out, and that will give you some information about what this particular input means and what to do with it. So those are what I call call outs, and you'll see these question mark icons dotted throughout Seasons. You should be able to just click on them and it'll give you more information about whatever whatever the icon is associated with. So let's go ahead and click. I'm going to put my information in here. Okay, so I've entered my my license and my user password and my email, and I've gone ahead and I've clicked Activate. So in my case here, I've been given the reactivated screen because I'm using a license that I've already used on another computer. So I need to reactivate it for this computer. Normally, if you're putting in a regular license, you would not be presented with this screen. You'll be taken directly to the Seasons product upon a valid license entry. So I'm going to go ahead and click Reactivate. And there you go. Now the Seasons product is up and functional and running. So as you can see here, Seasons loads. You'll see a full license here if you've entered a full license. If not, this will say trial license. It'll give you the version number here, and this will show you if Seasons is enabled or not. Again, you can click on these if you want to get the more information about what each item does. This says move the switch to the right to enable Seasons for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Let's move the switch to the left to disable Seasons for Microsoft Flight Simulator. If you want to use Seasons, you have to enable it, so you will need to push this over. And this will set up the appropriate files necessary for Microsoft Flight Simulator to see that Seasons exists. Currently, the default scenario will be that it'll install the default, or it'll say the default Seasons vegetation is currently active, and this will tell you that it's currently active. So in the simple use case of Seasons, you hit the enable. You can go down to, you can pick a season, like say September, and then you can just click apply to MSF. It's going to prompt you to please confirm you want to apply Seasons to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Apply the September Seasons to Microsoft Flight Simulator. If you don't want to see this message, you can click here and it will prevent it from popping up again. That's entirely up to you. So if you click the check mark here, that'll go ahead and it'll apply. It'll say last activity applied season set, and you'll notice this changes here to September. This is telling you that you've actually applied this particular month to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now you can move to other months here, November, and do other things, but this won't change until you actually hit the apply to Microsoft Flight Simulator. The simplest way to run Seasons is to select the Auto Seasons option and go on Use Seasons Monthly, Use Season Set Monthly. What the Auto Seasons On process will do is that when you actually have Microsoft Flight Simulator running, this will turn green, and it means it's established a connection with Microsoft Flight Simulator. And at that point, if you're in Microsoft Flight Simulator and you change the date, this will automatically match up the season set with whatever date you have selected in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So if you're doing a flight in July, this will change to July. And then it will automatically apply that date to Microsoft Flight Simulator without you having to do anything. The only caveat here is that Seasons needs to be running while Microsoft Flight Simulator is running in order for the auto seasons functionality to work. So that is kind of Seasons at its basic, most basic usage case, which is probably the 95% of the users are probably going to use Seasons this way. There are much more advanced options, and I'm going to go over those in a later video. The enhanced distance option here is can really only be operated on when Microsoft Flight Simulator is not running. What this does, it'll increase the rendering distance of your vegetation, and it does it in a non-standard way. It's a little bit of a hack. We used to be able to do a trick the render engine into rendering trees much further out into the horizon. Microsoft made an update to fix that bug, and since then there's really only one other way to make the seasons render out or vegetation render out further, and that is to adjust the terrain load distance, and that's what this feature is really doing. Now if you go above 2, a value of 2 here, you're going to get a warning. Say you go up to 6.5, and you hit save. Save will actually update Microsoft Flight Simulator with this new value here. If you hit save, you're going to get a warning here, and it's going to say, warning, enhanced distance value of 6.5 will drop AF performance by about 42% and increase load times. Are you sure you want to continue? So if you're going to use this option, be very careful. You will need a fairly powerful system, and we'll see a significant drop in FPS. So if you don't want to save it, say cancel. If you do want to save it, go ahead and say yes, and then this is going to save that setting to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm actually going to go back to a value of 2 here. And 2 is equivalent to the Ultra setting in Microsoft Flight Simulator. And when you go back to 2, you don't get any warning because anything 2 or less is standard Microsoft Flight Simulator values. If you click on the icon here, it'll give you some information about this extended distance slider. This may go away in a future version, just because I understand that in July 27th update for the Microsoft Flight Simulator, they are going to bring back the method where you can do extended vegetation loads. I don't know the details of that. We'll have to wait and see. If they do bring that back, then I'm going to go ahead and make code adjustments, so this slider will still be in place, but it may be slightly different. It might just be a check mark or a switch. So we'll just have to wait to see what Microsoft come up with. As far as vegetation, I may not need to do anything. And if that's the case, then I'll completely remove this enhanced distance option. In addition to some basic elements, you can actually create your own season set, and that will display your ability to add a season. So if you want to add your own season based on one of these other seasons, like say for example, I'm just going to call this Rob Jan or something like that. And this is based on January, which is one of the existing season sets. You can pick anyone that you currently have to base this on. And essentially what it will do is you hit OK. It's going to copy the January season set over to something called Rob Jan season set. So once you've created this custom season set, some caveats in set will not be picked up with auto seasons. So if you turn auto seasons on, auto seasons will only use the season sets January, labeled as January, through December. It will not use custom season sets. And custom season sets will always show the bottom here, just the way they get ordered. How do you customize January season set or one of the 12 season sets? I'm going to get into that in a later tutorial. It involves going down to the advanced options here, or you can go into tools here, and there's a season generator, and again that's going to be in an advanced tutorial. But this tutorial was just really here to give you the very basics of how to use seasons. It's in its most simple form. It's a small interface here. It doesn't require really much more effort than a click to enable it, and then apply to MSF. My recommendation for most users, if you want to run seasons at the same time as Microsoft Flight Simulator, is to enable it. It doesn't matter what season set you pick here. Just set this to on, and you don't even have to hit the apply to MSF. And then what you want to do once this is set up, just go ahead and run Microsoft Flight Simulator. Okay, so Microsoft Flight Simulator has loaded now, and I'm going to bring up my seasons here in the background. If you notice, seasons has already changed to July and has applied that season to Microsoft Flight Simulator because I have the auto seasons on. And you should see a little green connector here to indicate that you are connected to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Again, the only reason you need to run this is to synchronize your dates and get the appropriate season set over to Microsoft Flight Simulator. If you're not planning on changing dates frequently, you don't need to run seasons. You can close it now. The season set will already be installed for you, and you'll see the installed season set month here, and you're good to go. So you can shut this down if you don't plan on changing dates. If you do plan on changing dates, you can leave seasons open. I'm going to leave it open for now, just to demonstrate the changing of dates. So I'm going to pick a airport close to where I live, and I'm going to go ahead and set a different day here, or a different month. Take note down here as I make the changes to the month here. This will update also. So let's go ahead. I'm going to change this. You can't see it very well. Let's do that. So let's go over here. I'm going to change this to, say, August. And you'll notice over here, this change to August was applied. Let's do that again. Let's change it to September. And there you go. See down here, it applied. Let's change it to October. There you go, October, and it applied. So that's what the auto seasons function will do. So as you change dates here, that will update to the appropriate season set for the month you have. So let's go back and close. I'm going to go ahead and fly. Okay, so here we are in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'm going to go ahead and click the Ready to Fly. And as you can see, there is vegetation already established for the particular month of October. And I'm going to go ahead and see if I've got this set up to fly correctly. Yes, I do. Whoa. Alright, so I'm going to fly over to our trees over here. And these are the October trees. So there you have it. This is Seasons at its most basic and simple form. The Seasons set you see here is my default set that I provide with the product. The true power in my Seasons product is going to be discussed in the advanced tutorials, and you can see there'll be a whole series of adjustments you can make that will bring to life the Seasons to looking exactly how you might want the Seasons to look. So like I said, it's very powerful, and I'll get into that in the next tutorial. You're by no means locked into my colors here, or my vegetation densities, nor my tree sizes. It is completely 100% customizable, and you can generate your Seasons in just a matter of a few clicks and have a season looking the way you want it to look. So that's the end of my quick, or not so quick, introduction to Seasons, installation, and using Seasons in its most basic form. Thank you.